Most project presentations fail in the first 30 seconds. Do you know why? Research shows that over 70% of presentations lose audience attention before even reaching the main idea. Maybe you have faced the same thing, like slides full of text, a nervous delivery, and an audience that looks bored. Don't worry, this video is for you. In fact, studies on communication reveal that clarity and structure make the difference between a forgettable presentation and one that truly impresses. So the question is, how can you make sure your next project presentation is clear, professional, and impactful? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Komarasamy.AITech. In this video, I will show you step-by-step how to create an effective project presentation. Whether you are a student, researcher, or professional, this structure will help you present your project work clearly and confidently. 1. Abstract. The abstract is the summary of your entire project in just a few sentences. Keep it short, about 3 to 5 lines. It should explain the problem you tackled, your approach, and the outcome you achieved. Think of it as your project's elevator pitch. Avoid unnecessary details. Your audience just needs a snapshot. A good abstract tells your audience, example, this project is relevant and it delivered results. Remember, this is often the first impression, so keep it crisp, clear, and engaging. Point number 2. Objectives. And before we continue with the objectives, I highly recommend you watch my previous video, How to Start Your Project, Step-by-Step Guide for University Students. I will give the link in the description below. Next step, make the objectives. These are the goals you want to achieve with your project. Write them in bullet points so they are easy to read. Instead of writing paragraphs, use short, clear statements. Make sure each objective is specific, measurable, and realistic. For example, to design an AI model for predicting heart disease prediction, or to develop a system that improves efficiency by using the X method. Around 3 to 5 objectives are usually enough. Too many will dilute your focus. Point number 3. Introduction. In the introduction, you set the stage. Explain the background of your project, why you chose this topic, and the real-world problem it addresses. Mention your problem statement clearly in 1 or 2 lines. For example, existing healthcare systems fail to detect disease X early, leading to... You can also add statistics, case studies, or news highlights to show relevance. This makes your project relatable and grabs your audience's attention. Keep it short, ideally 1 or 2 slides, so the audience does not lose focus. Point number 4. Literature work. Now comes the literature work. This section shows what research or projects you reviewed before starting. Instead of copying large paragraphs, present it smartly. Use tables, comparison charts, or bullet points as per the table given. Highlight key studies and their contributions. Always refer last 3 years' latest study or work. Most importantly, explain the limitations of existing research. This builds the foundation for your project by showing what has already been done and what gaps still remain. End of this section with, based on this review, our project focuses on. Point number 5. Existing work. The existing work section explains the current systems or methods already in place. This could be software, tools, or models that solve the same problem. Show their strengths, what they do well, but also point out their weaknesses. For example, current systems are accurate but expensive, or the method works for small datasets but not for large ones. This comparison helps your audience clearly understand the gap your project is trying to fill. Point number 6. Proposed work. Now comes the most important part. Your proposed work. This is where you showcase your solution. Clearly describe your idea, the logic behind it, and why it's better than existing approaches. Break it into modules or steps so it's easy to follow. Always use visuals, a flowchart, block diagram, or architecture sketch, because your audience will understand your design faster that way. If you have built something innovative, emphasize that. This section should make the audience think, Yes, this solution makes sense. Point number 7. System flow and architecture. Diagram. Next, add a system flow diagram or architecture diagram. This visually represents how your project works from start to finish. Show the input, the processing stages, and the output using simple blocks and arrows. Don't overcrowd the diagram. Use colors or labels to make it easy to follow. Even someone who is not technical should be able to glance at your diagram and say, "Oh, I get how this system works." That is the power of a good flowchart. Point number 8. Timeline and Gantt chart. Every successful project needs proper planning. Use a timeline or Gantt chart to show how you divided your work into phases. Break it down into research, design, implementation, testing, and report writing. Include weeks or months to show realistic deadlines, and mark milestones like prototype complete or final testing done. A clear timeline shows that your project was not random, but a well-planned and systematic approach. Point number 9. Software/hardware. Used here, list the software, programming languages, frameworks, and tools you use to build your project. Divide them into categories like programming languages, Python, Java, databases, MySQL, MongoDB, and frameworks, TensorFlow, Flask, etc. Adding the logos or icons of these tools makes your slide visually attractive. If you used any open-source tools, highlight them too. It shows resourcefulness and adaptability. Point number 10. Experimental results. This is where you prove your project works. Present your results with graphs, bar charts, line charts, or screenshots of your system in action. If possible, compare your project's performance with existing systems. That makes your case stronger. Focus on key performance metrics like accuracy, efficiency, response time, or cost savings. Highlight improvements in percentage form. For example, our model improves prediction accuracy by 15% compared to existing methods. Numbers speak louder than words here. Point number 11. Conclusion and future work. In conclusion, summarize your project in 2 to 3 key takeaways. Mention what you achieved and the value your project adds, whether it's solving a problem, saving resources, or opening new opportunities. Then, suggest future work. Every project has limitations, so talk about how it could be improved. Maybe it can be scaled, integrated with new technologies, or applied to different industries. This shows that your project is forward-looking and not just a one-time effort. Important last point 12. References. Finally, include your references. These are all the research papers, books, articles, or websites you used while working on your project. Use a consistent citation style like IEEE, APA, or MLA. Make sure you cite recent and reliable sources, usually from the last 3 years, as I mentioned in literature review. Having proper references not only shows academic honesty, but also strengthens the credibility of your work. To summarize all the 12 points: 1. Abstract 2. Objectives 3. Introduction 4. Literature work 5. Existing work 6. Proposed work 7. System flow and architecture diagram 8. Timeline and Gantt chart 9. Software / hardware use 10. Experimental results 11. Conclusion and future work 12. References. By following these structures, you can create a professional and effective project presentation. Remember, less text, more visuals. Practice your delivery so you sound confident, and keep your presentation within the time limit. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel Komarasamy.AITech. Stay tuned for more tutorials on projects, presentations, and AI tech tips. Thanks for watching, and best of luck with your presentations. Your feedback matters a lot. Post your ideas in the comments, and I will do my best to cover them in future videos.